Sergeant Slater, I appreciate all you're trying to do, but I have a bit of a situation.
Oh, situation?
Yeah, see, it's really just bad timing. Tonight's the football formal kickoff at my high school.
Ah, big doings in the other realm.
Right, and I promised Harvey.
Your special guy.
Exactly. I promised him that I'd be there, and I've been kind of letting him down a lot lately.
Well, Precious, I know how important these high school things are.
Really? So, do you think it'd be okay if I go?
What I think is... You're in Wish Camp now!
Ladies, gentlemen, Nick Kroll. Welcome to episode number 26 of Sabrina's Witch Trials. This is, of course, the show where each episode we venture back into the mid-1990s to rewatch, review, and reminisce all about everyone's favorite Friday night spellfest, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. I'm Alex Araujo, and folks, we've returned to bring you the exciting conclusion to Sabrina Gets Her License, a title which I now just realized totally spoils this 1 hour story because it's in the title. She gets her license, so why sit through it? But maybe you're a fan of really somewhat offensive racial stereotypes. It's gonna be a fun episode, folks, because I've brought back everyone's favorite guest. He's the ace photographer du jour. Du jour? That doesn't really work.
It's today. It's fine.
Fine. And he is Sabrina's Witch Trials resident photographer, Mr. Brian Cassis. Brian, you're the guy who has the camera, so you're the resident photographer.
Brought back. He never left.
That's true. He actually just sat in my studio for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I had some pretzels and beer.
You did. Brian, how are you?
All right.
Good to have you back. Always fun to talk some Sabrina with you. We're gonna have a fun time. We literally just finished rewatching the episode, so now all we have to do is review and reminisce.
Wonderful.
1/3 done. Brian, I mentioned in the last episode, these two episodes actually aired as a 1 hour premiere. They split up the two into two separate episodes for syndication. So, of course, this episode also aired September 26th, 1997, to the same 12.6 million viewers, 8.6 rating, 52nd highest rated show that week. Before we get into the episode, of course, I'd like to ask you to describe this episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch in a set number of words that I do every week to my guests to really make them like me slightly less than they already do. I'm going to ask you to describe episode number 26, Sabrina Gets Her License Part 2, in 8 words. Brian?
All right, hold on. 8 words. I'm working this out. Do, 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 do.
It's actually more annoying than silence.
Okay. Budget Topher Grace is a terrible girlfriend to Harvey Kink.
No, you're already at 10.
No, not is. That doesn't count.
Sure it does.
Does not.
Hey, if it counted in college when I was writing papers and worked A everywhere.
So, Budget Topher Grace is a really terrible girlfriend.
Perfect. That's 8. Right on the nose. Definitely the first time you did that. It was only the second. It was not a bad one. Maybe I kept them both in. Who knows?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe I cut all this out.
Is not a word. It doesn't count.
Is a word.
In the title, it gets lowercase, pal.
It's still a word then.
Glossed
It's not
over.
like, not whatever. Fuck it. Yes, so very good, Brian. As I said, episode number 26.
These Wild West rules. Holy shit.
It was some crazy shit going on here. But before we get into the episode, I thought it'd be nice, since we started a new season, to give you a quick refresher, listener and Brian, as to what was happening in the world on September 26th, 1997. In the U.S., the number one song on the charts was Mariah Carey's Honey, a song I don't remember, so in my head I've just been singing You'll Always Be My Honey. You'll always be my honey. It works.
Terrible.
Listen, There's a reason I do podcasts and not successful singing shows, which is what I call them. I don't call them concerts.
That's where you stepped in your carpool karaoke?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever his name is.
Nick Kroll took your spot and blew it up.
He probably has done a carpool karaoke. No. Why would you take him? He sucks at everything. Fuck you, Nick Kroll. Anyway, Honey wouldn't be on top of the charts for very long because a few days earlier, actually, Elton John released his tribute to Princess Diana, Candle in the Wind 1997 in the U.S., 4 days earlier, in fact. And it would be number one starting in early October for 14 straight weeks.
Yeah, I remember that song.
Sell 33 million copies as a single. The number one movie in America on September 26, 1997, The Peacemaker.
Oh, I remember that movie.
I'm pretty sure you went to go see that with a friend of the show, Phil, didn't you?
Yeah. We went to the movies to actually see it.
Yes. George Clooney and Nicole Kidman. I understand there's a Russian train derailment or two trains crash into each other. Not dissimilar from the previous episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Tie-ins. And in the news on September 26th, 1997, just 1 day earlier, voice of the New York Knicks, Marv Albert, pled guilty to assault and battery, and prosecutors dropped the more serious forced sodomy charge against the man.
Yeah.
He's a real dick, you know that? A real piece of shit. Because a month later at his sentencing, he received a 12-month suspended sentence. No jail time. And he had to do some counseling for assault and battery. Even more disgustingly, Albert would tell the judge during the sentencing that he was sorry if she felt she was harmed. What a piece of shit.
That passed back then, though.
God. This is 97, too. It's not like it was the 50s or anything.
Hey, listen, Harvey was biting a lot of people.
God, what a hideous man. Both Harvey and Marv Albert, to different extents.
I thought we were talking about Harvey Kinkel.
No, yes, he has a kink of his own, doesn't he? Is Marv Albert a pervert? Yes.
Yes!
I'm going to put that in there.
Yes.
I'm not going to let my own stand. Anyway, also an earthquake happened in Italy that day. And interestingly, for this episode and the previous episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the day, a couple of days before, on September 20th, Chips actor Eric Estrada, aged 48, married Nanette Merkovich, his third wife, and you'll be happy to know they're still married.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Always nice to hear. And the day after, in fact, which is the 27th, Grammy Award winner Coolio, aged 34, would wed Los Angeles DJ Josefa Salinas, aged 37, in Las Vegas. I don't know if they're still married, but a couple of Sabrina tie-in weddings there. But let's get to the episode, Brian. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, please.
More fun than hearing Nick Kroll insult me.
No, not really. Let's play that now.
No. Once was enough. You can go back to the last episode and listen to it if you haven't already. We open episode 26 without a cold open, in fact, and instead just start with Sabrina not wanting to go to witch camp and Zelda telling her it'll be all right. Hilda disagrees vehemently, noting that she went there once, adding that Sabrina shouldn't try running to Canada. Zelda says that it's time to go, and Quizmaster appears behind Sabrina to give her a hand, pushing her off a cliff.
Yeah, the Riddler.
Yeah, very green, isn't he? Sabrina, luckily, however, is soon zapped into a parachute to float over the other realm, noting there's a lot of pools. Eventually, she crashes into the main office of Witch Camp and meets a stern officer who asks for her name and gives her boot camp standard issues. She complains that all she is a number to the officer, and yeah, she's totally right. A very long number, to be specific.
I'm just a number to you, aren't I?
S-210-341-18-577K.
Okay, so I'm a lot of numbers to you.
We then go back to the Spellman house, where Zelda tells Hilda that she's decided what to do with their bond money, saying that she's buying a lab. While the idea of a puppy tickles Hilda and terrifies Salem, Zelda soon clarifies that she meant a laboratory, as she wants to try chemistry to help mankind with odorless nail polish remover. Salem is no more comforted that she's buying a laboratory. Hilda worries where they'll put it, but Zelda tells her that it'll fit anywhere, as she's buying one of those new quantum laptops. And Hilda just wishes they had reinvested the money as Zelda initially wanted to. Back at Witch Camp, Sabrina meets one of her camp mates, a bitchy goody two-shoes named Stacy, who shouts down Sabrina's joke about them wearing the same outfit. To be fair, it wasn't very funny. She tries, though. She's trying to make a friend, but it doesn't work.
Hey, look! We wore the same outfit.
No talking during cleanup.
We then get the cliched drill sergeant, Sergeant Slater, who has the girls line up to call them pathetic, criticize their magic abilities, and telling them that they should prep for inspection as they all give him the finger.
Is this a Marv Albert tie-in?
No, but we'll get there. Because eventually we'll talk about it.
All right, this thing's going off the rails.
I was just thinking of that hideous old man. He critiques two girls before complimenting Stacy, and they exchange a smile, just dripping with their fucking. Like, there's a creepiness to it, which can only be like, see you in the barracks later. Like, there's your Marv Albert right there.
There's your Marv Albert. Yes.
He walks past Sabrina initially before recognizing the name Spellman. Spellman. Jesus.
Awkward.
And he remembers Hilda, thorn in my side, Spellman, and tells Sabrina not to say she's related to her, leaving Sabrina to meekly mutter, okay, which I thought was very good. He reiterates that they're all losers, telling them to go out and make some magic, hunting them out of the barracks, eventually trailing off into a nice little hum, which I thought was very nice. So, Brian, let's talk about these opening two scenes here. I really like the laboratory joke. I think it's some really good delivery of Nick Bakay saying, a dog?
A dog? Yeah.
And solid delivery. And I just love the fact that Salem is terrified, and then the way he says, I'm not relieved, when Zelda says it's a laboratory.
Yes, I'm going to buy a lab.
A puppy?
A dog?
No, a laboratory.
I'm not relieved.
Also, I kind of feel like that's like an animal testing joke.
I think that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Lobotomy is what I wanted more than anything.
Oh, stop. You better pep yourself up. He's got coffee and a Corona in front of him, so he doesn't know which way his emotions are going. You get pepped.
Flat.
Anyway, what did you like here, Brian?
Nothing.
What did you think about Sergeant Slater?
The cliched character. I thought it was funny. I thought it was okay. A little over the top, which was good. I would have been better if it had been even more over the top.
Did you recognize who was playing Sergeant Slater?
I did, but I couldn't.
Were you a fan of Night Court? Because Richard Mull plays Sergeant Slater here, famous for playing Bailiff Bull Shannon on Night Court.
Is he the guy from not Stranger Things?
I don't think so.
Looks like him, though.
He's a big lurchy guy.
Yeah.
The guy on Stranger Things is a bit shorter and just like
he is.
decrepit.
Decrepit?
I don't
Take
like
that back.
very much. I hate that show, honestly.
Fuck you.
I'm sick of how hyped
podcast
people
is
are
over.
for fucking Stranger Things. It's not that good.
It's good.
It's not that
Stop
good.
listening to this and go watch it.
Richard Mull,
Stop it.
You might also recognize as the voice of
Go
Harvey
watch
Dent
it.
and Two-Face on Batman the Animated Series.
All right. Go watch that instead of this podcast.
That's a very good... No, do both. But do this first. Anyway, I actually really liked the Sergeant Slater character. I think he's the best part of this episode.
He's the only good part of this episode. No, I take that back. There's some Harvey moments that I actually enjoyed. He is the best part of this episode. I thought
he's got very good comedic timing.
I just wish he was more over the top.
That's fair. I think it's a good performance by Mull in that he's very good at being the stereotypical drill sergeant, but he's also very funny without ever losing that intimidation factor for being a drill sergeant. So it's a fine line to walk, I think, and he does it quite well.
Spellman. Why is that name so familiar? Hilda Spellman. Hilda thorn in my side, Spellman. Don't tell me you're related to Hilda Spellman.
Okay.
He also covers a pretty wide emotional range in the course of the episode. He's funny, he's scared, he's intimidating. Overall, a very good performance. He is intimidated. He runs away like a girl at one point.
Yep.
There's, as I said, there's also no doubt that there's something very fishy going on between him and Stacy.
Dude, totally.
I would not be shocked if at some point the other realm, like Times, runs a cover
bites
story.
her back for sure.
Yeah, where Stacy like shoots his wife, Mary Jo Slater. That's a very New York 90s reference there for you folks.
Oh, yeah.
7 people got it, but you got it real good. Stacy, by the way, also played by Andrea Savage, who you might not know, but she's been in a lot of like comedic stuff. Like she's played like roles in some like comedy movies. She actually most recently has her own sitcom on True TV called I'm Sorry, which she also created. And a fun fact, on that show, which I've actually seen far too many episodes of, it's okay, it's not great. Her father is played by Martin Mull, Mr. Kraft himself.
Oh no, I know her. She's on Veep.
She's. I don't know who she is on Veep because I've only seen like the first 2
Laura
seasons.
Montez.
Well, yes, we can all read an IMDb, Brian, but
She's a
8 or something.
candidate.
Ah, okay.
No, wait. She is. I'm trying to think. She is. I believe she's a candidate.
I'll go with it.
Now I feel bad.
Anything else to say, or should we get back to the episode, Brian?
About what?
About these last two scenes.
I think that's it. I mean, it's relatively self-explanatory. I mean, what the fuck was Quizmaster wearing? But then it is.
It's a carryover from the end of the last one where it's very, very green. Sabrina walks back up to Slater as she was being hutted out, noting that she appreciates all his efforts, but she has a situation and he does a fantastic job of playing sarcastically interested. She explains.
Hey, she was on the Kroll show.
Oh, well, you know what? I think she is funny. I think
and the League too, so she must got a thing for Kroll too.
Oh man, I think she has good comedic timing, but that's all I'll say about the Kroll show and Nick Kroll in general. Can't make it a thing anymore. Anyway, she explains that tonight is the football formal kickoff, and it's bad timing that she's here, as Harvey, who Slater assumes is her special guy, has his heart set on going with her, and she's been letting him down a bunch. Slater says that he understands how important high school stuff is before sending Sabrina crashing back down to reality, magically G.I. Janing her, and bellowing that she's in witch camp now, leaving her mourning her hair loss. Later, Sabrina is seen complaining about how cloud-high wall climbing went, and Stacy is just a bitch as usual. She just what a bitch. Sabrina then covertly zaps her formal gown and Harvey's poster into her trunk before being called to attention by Slater, who makes threats about tomorrow's activity before zapping devices onto the girls' ankles before explaining with their magic deactivators to stop them from zapping in popcorn or zapping out to Paris for some reason. I assume that's very popular for the witch camp.
Maybe.
He then wishes the ladies nighty-night before reflecting on how unmean it sounds when they actually are ladies, which, I don't know. I was still scared.
Nighty-nights, ladies. Just doesn't sound as mean when they really are ladies.
That night later on, Sabrina quietly gets up and retrieves her things from the trunk, only to be caught by Stacy, who recites the anti-puttering regulations and threatens to tell on her. She starts to get out of bed until Sabrina points out how regulations also forbid getting out of bed before sunup, and a furious Stacy endeavors to tattle her brains out in the morning. Back at home, Hilda gives Zelda shit for spending their money on a small briefcase, but Salem tells them to just cook up some Colorado catnip, a little bit of the strong stuff, get me real high because I'm a cat and I want to get high.
Cat. Yeah.
Zelda says that the laptop is an advanced piece of technology that nobody touches until she finishes reading the very large manual.
The phone book.
Basically. A phone book, for you younger listeners, is a book that contains people's phone numbers and the phone numbers of businesses should you have to reach them to inquire about goods or services. Anyway, Zelda eventually leaves, and Hilda and Salem, being alone, eventually and immediately, basically, open the laptop to a really awesome practical effect.
Well, Salem doesn't open it.
No, Salem just encourages Hilda to touch the button, which she eventually does.
Push the button.
You push it.
Push it.
Brian,
Al.
let's talk about some of this. Let's go back to probably the best scene in the episode, in my opinion, the exchange between Slater and Sabrina. This is why I love Richard Moe in this episode, is especially his delivery of the line, "You're a special guy."
I promised Harvey.
You're a special guy.
I think it's fucking fantastic. But I love the fact that he is just dripping with sarcasm and just like condescension, and the only person in the world who doesn't pick up on how this isn't going well for her and she should just shut the fuck up is Sabrina. There is something about the character where, like, maybe it's just in these last couple of episodes, but really it pops up throughout the first season and will pop up exponentially more, where she is really what's the word, entitled, I guess, where she just thinks everything should go well for her. And it's like, Sabrina, you're in a fucking witch camp. You know what it's. Pick up on what's going on, all right? Pick up the context clues. There's a drill sergeant. You're all dressed in fatigues. You don't make ridiculous requests, right?
I guess so.
Did you like the scene?
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah, I think he's at his best here.
There's actually good continuity in that she conjured her dress and her poster
Yeah.
prior.
It's true. It's very smart. But at the same time, though, why would, we'll get into it in the next scene, but like, why would you zap that stuff in when you're going to have to escape with that stuff? Now, the idea is she was planning on just magically escaping, and then she wasn't planning on the deactivators. But why do that at all when you could just zap it in later, hypothetically or theoretically? You know,
Well,
get out first and then zap it in.
Unless she was going to zap herself to the.
Yeah, but she could zap herself there and then use the magic to conjure it there.
Yeah, but then what if people saw her in fatigues?
People should see her in fatigues because isn't she in fatigues when she zaps herself into her dress at the school anyway?
Isn't she?
I believe she is.
I don't know if she is.
I'm pretty sure.
I forgot now.
But let's go to the tape. Anyway, we'll get there in a minute. Anyway,
I don't know. I thought it was somewhat well thought out. It was funny because then it shows. Well, it also sets the table. You can use magic there, obviously,
Yes.
right? And not just magic that's allowed by the drill sergeant. It's just any type of magic.
magic
potentially.
works unless the deactivators are on.
The deactivators are on. It also kind of hints to the fact that maybe the deactivators aren't on all the time, but because he knows that she's planning to go, slaps it on.
Perhaps he doesn't. He really doesn't want them eating popcorn though. It's just either you don't escape or you don't get popcorn. Those are the two things. Do all the drugs you want. Just for the love of God, no Jiffy Pop. I only made Jiffy Pop in my life one time. Well, I didn't make it. I was like 5. I only ever saw it made like one time, and it was the most confusing, like in my mind, stupid thing.
Well, maybe that's why he said no Jiffy Pop.
It's just such a weird thing. Like you take this pen and you wave it on and off until it pops up too much, but it'll pop. It'll
Hey,
explode.
listen, it's a nostalgic thing. Not
It is
everybody had
crazy,
a
isn't it?
microwave back then.
It was I was born in '92. People had microwaves.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in '92. There's a nostalgia thing from before.
Even now, there's a nostalgic thing. Like,
Yeah.
I might actually buy some tomorrow just because I think it's kind of a fun. Like, it's like the same reason why people buy records. It's like it's that physical media of popcorn.
I love. I personally like the
Microwaves
records.
being the digital media of
yeah,
popcorn.
digital media. Let me download this bag of popcorn.
Yeah.
Extra butter.
Go on to like torrent sites and get it's all like green. Oh fuck.
You wouldn't download a car.
The laptop, Ryan.
Laptop or briefcase?
It is clearly a briefcase, but I've always, even as a kid, loved the laptop just because of this fucking awesome effect of it. Like, clearly it's a special table and it like lifts up. It looks so fucking awesome. It's got neon everywhere. It's got all these interesting test tubes with brightly colored liquid. As a kid and as a millennial man, it's still fucking awesome. I love it. Don't give me that look.
All right, man. Listen, I like glow stuff too.
It's also worth noting that, speaking of continuity, the living room is back in one piece.
Yes.
The wall is back up.
Yeah. Well, they fixed it. They were allowed to use magic, no?
That's true. They have no deactivators.
Yeah.
Sabrina is then seen in mid-escape as she avoids the spotlight and tries to climb a fence, eventually failing, but luckily just goes ass backwards through the open gate.
Yep.
She then begins to hop a wall, a very, easy wall to hop. It's not like she's climbing up the wall. She hops onto a box and then just has to, pummel horse over the wall, only to be stopped by a German Shepherd, however, who plays tug of war with Harvey's poster, ultimately making away with it as Sabrina just makes it over herself. We then quickly see a cutaway to the formal at Westbridge, where Harvey looks at his watch after looking for Sabrina unsuccessfully. Salem is then overheard on his famous hamper, where he often is, ordering some cat toys over the phone, stopping and covering up when Sabrina bursts in from the linen closet.
Sabrina, you busted out of the joint?
I've got to get this deactivator off.
I'll pick it with my dew claw. It's essentially the same lock that's on your diary.
He's impressed that she busted out of the joint, but a grimy Sabrina just says that she has to get this deactivator off her ankle. So he offers to take it off for her, as the lock on it is quite similar to the one on her diary, so he can just pick it with his dew claw.
Dew claw.
She then magically appears in a stall in the Westbridge girls' room, emerging in camo, I have it written down here, before quickly zapping into a gorgeous, very Cinderella-esque white gown.
I clean it pretty good.
She then runs down the hall to meet Harvey, noting to him that wild dogs couldn't keep her away, and complimenting his bi-monthly shaving. He calls it a hassle before asking about his poster, to be fair. I mean, you said you were going to make me one. Where the fuck is it? So Sabs...
They're worth his cookies.
Sabs says she forgot it in the shitter. Now, she doesn't say shitter, but that's the implication is she forgot his poster in the toilet. She runs off to get it. And hopefully get some Purell also, because, fuck, that's gross. In the shitter, Sabrina waits for a girl to finish spraying her bangs. And so this is very 90s. So there's a lot of hairspray, a lot of big bangs.
A lot of Aquanet.
Oh, my God. Eventually, she tells the girl to fuck off out of there, but to have a good time, and gives her a really condescending smile. She then quickly zaps in a blank poster. But when she goes to zap it again to, I guess, decorate it, her finger makes the stalling sound as stress has shorted out her finger once again. Sabrina is then left to quickly hand make a poster with a forgotten lipstick, writing "Go Harvey Kink" before it runs out. She then presents her disaster piece to Harvey, explaining that she thought Kink could be a cool sports name for him, like Shaq. He thanks her and ushers her to the dance while noting that art classes are available during summer school, you terrible designer. Brian.
Oh.
Now, see, here's where I've noted that, oddly, it makes no sense for her to have zapped in the dress and the poster to the barracks, as it only serves as an impediment for her getting out. She could just zap it in, as she does over the course of this scene. I think the more ridiculous and egregious point of all this is, when she zaps in Harvey's poster, she decides to zap it in stages, where she zaps in a blank poster and then decides to zap in, decorations, I guess. But why the fuck wouldn't you just zap in a finished poster? It's not like she zaps her dress in stages or her outfit in. She zaps herself once, her outfit's on, her hair's done, she looks fucking great. Just zap in a poster.
Chalk it up to an experience.
She should never get her witch's license, honestly.
At this point, she's never.
The test should be zapping a fucking done poster and she'd fail.
Well, she should have been able to zap the one that the German Shepherd ate, but...
You would think so, especially since she, already designed it.
Yeah.
It's in her mind. It should be easily recreated.
Maybe it's a counterfeiting rule that you can't infringe on copyright.
There is actually a counterfeiting rule brought up in, episode 3 when witches really overdid the Gucci. So they could only... Hence the butter thumbs and the roller blahs and the popsy cola.
So in that sense, maybe there was a...
It would be Go Harvey Cankle.
Cankle?
Yes. He's got real thick knees.
You could pinpoint the moment where his heart breaks in half.
It's really, you know what? Listen.
Between the bad haircut and the...
He was considering breaking up with her because... She didn't have time for him. She promises him, listen, I want to make you a poster. You're really important to me. And this is what you bring me? This?
Well, she also promised something else, I'm sure, but
Maybe he promised her, but he wouldn't get a haircut, and then he shows up and is like, "Oh, all bets are off, you piece of shit."
he had piercings too.
He has an earring, yeah.
Yeah.
He's had it for a while, but it's very mid-90s of him. He's
No,
a hip,
super,
cool guy.
very
It's
hip, cool
fucking
guy.
great. The one thing I noted was style-wise. Well, besides Sabrina looking fantastic, Harvey has a very it's a very wide tie on his tuxedo, but it's a very thin knot, so it almost
Yeah.
gives like an ascot effect.
It does. It's very 90s, though.
It is.
Especially
He's got the vest also.
yeah, the weird pattern on the vest looks more like a tablecloth.
Very,
Yeah.
very much like something that you see on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Very much so.
What's that got to here, Brian? I did like the bit of continuity, as is the word of the episode, where Salem says that he can pick it with his dew claw, as it's similar to the lock on her diary. There is an episode that opens up with him explaining, but he picked her diary and read about Harvey, so this must be like episode 2, because he picked it with his dew claw. So same lock. I can do it.
Same lock. Those are nice touches, and again, makes for good writing because then it's almost like creating your own inside jokes. But Salem's always been one of the better characters anyway. The comedic relief overall, not zany in the sense of the aunt Hilda. I almost said Zelda.
With zany Zelda.
But as zany as or crazy or in whatever situation Salem gets, it can never be that crazy. It's a fucking talking cat.
Oh, it gets pretty weird. He has a daughter, and eventually Sabrina has to wrestle Billy Gunn so that Salem's daughter can get married.
It's a cat.
I am looking so forward to reviewing that episode.
It's a talking
just because
cat.
I get to reference a very obscure Billy Gunn entrance theme that I've loved since the year 2000.
It's a talking cat, so there's suspension of disbelief allows you to he's ordering fucking cat toys.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Double-ended cat toys, a little feather action. Whatever.
Marv Albert.
Marv Albert, whatever floats your boat,
What did you think?
Aggravated sodomy.
Did you feel bad? God, what a piece of shit, honestly. How the fuck Virginia... By the way, the max penalty for the sodomy crime, life in prison. He put it down to a misdemeanor and didn't go to jail.
Yes.
Unfucking believable.
I hope every yes that I say you replace with his.
I will do that. I will put it immediately after so I know it's not just like a weird, sad surprise. That's this podcast as a whole. What did you think? Did you feel bad for the Asian girl who Sabrina yells at to get out of the bathroom?
No, I
Taking too long.
No, I just thought it was just a little awkward. The joke fell flat. It just went a little bit too long to the point where I got a little bit uncomfortable. It was trying to paint a picture.
Yes.
And
Picture of subtle racism.
it could have been any other girl. Come on.
It could have been. Could have been like CC number 7 because they keep recasting her. Recast her once, but still, come on, just give her Libby can't have 2 black friends.
No.
All right. Back at the Spellmans, Zelda walks in on Hilda monkeying with the laptop, and her scream causes Hilda to drop a beaker and fuck up their flooring. Zelda tells her how unprepared Hilda is for these very dangerous and, scientific-y chemicals. Scientific-y is Zelda's favorite word.
Yeah.
But she ignores her, of course, mixes 2 other chemicals which explode and then magically transport them to a Thunderbird with everyone's favorite, Eric Estrada. Does he deliver a line? Fuck no.
They'd have to pay him $75 for that one.
Poor man just recently got married. Give him some money.
He got $25 or whatever for being as an extra, a non-speaking role.
You get to plug his show, Dos Mujeres Un Camino. But Zelda says that Hilda can't keep the T-Bird and also can't keep the very weathered hunk.
Wasn't that weathered?
He's only 48, but he looks like he's in his mid-50s.
Thank God for SD 480, not even 480p.
God, I don't know. He looks pretty jerky.
Imagine at 1080p or 4K. Woof.
Oh man, I can't wait till they release Sabrina on Blu-ray.
Yeah, okay.
Did you hear they're re-releasing Batman the Animated Series on Blu-ray?
I saw your Facebook post.
I'm very excited for someone to buy it for me for Christmas. Hint. Anyway,
hint, listeners.
Hint, Brian. Back in the dance.
If it's $20, sure.
No, it's probably gonna be like $50 because they'll probably release it all.
$50.
They'll probably re-release the whole series at once.
$50. Fuck that. I mean,
sure.
yeah.
Don't you have your money saved up from that time that you appeared on Sabrina in a T-Bird?
Yeah.
God, I hope Brian Cassis is in the T-Bird. Ace photographer that he is.
Yeah.
Back at the dance, Wibby and the Bitch Bunch mock Sabrina's poster. Fairly. It's pretty shit. She didn't even bother to put like stars on it or anything.
There's no reason to even mock it. It's just
point at it.
It's horrific. You don't even have to say a word. It's terrible.
Irritating the teen witch, who comments to Harvey, but all that's forgotten when Harvey asks her to dance. Despite his lack of grace, they slow dance to a typically shit 90s R&B ballad until he dips her and she sees Slater's screaming face in the disco ball, leaving Harvey to wonder what he stepped on when Sabrina shrieks with terror.
Sabrina, I know I'll probably step on your toes and it'll be really awkward, but do you want to dance?
How can I resist? You're not a bad dancer. Ow!
Sorry. I'm just glad we're finally spending some time together.
Me too.
What did I step on?
No, I'm okay. Looks like she dances as well as she draws.
Yeah, I didn't get that joke. I thought like because at one point they're dancing and he's like, I'm probably gonna step on your feet or whatever, and he does, and he's like, sorry, and then he dips her, and then she like bellows because she sees Slater's face, and he's like, oh, what did I step on? Did he think he stepped on her vagina?
No.
Maybe. Are you sure?
Maybe.
I think he thought he like trampled on her labia or something. I was like, whoops. Like, God, Harvey, pay attention in sex ed. Fucking idiot.
Gotta rewatch.
Stop getting haircuts.
Poor guy, his brain cells are in his hair.
That's right. He's Samson. They then see, they being the group of assembled teens dancing, they all see Sabrina run out, and in a very weird bit of running, Sabrina somehow manages to trip and like slip out of her combat boot because her outfit starts changing back, a la Cinderella. We do get a really fun bit, I thought, where like she's wearing camo pants, but like the top corset part, which I thought looked really cool for some reason. I thought it was awesome.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know why. I still don't, but I thought it looked really good.
Sure.
So she runs out wearing that very awesome outfit, and her boot somehow manages to slip off of her foot, leaving Harvey to wonder why the fuck she was wearing boots. We then find Sabrina back in her barracks after a commercial break, magically scrubbing the floor with a toothbrush, as Slater reads a list of her malfeasance, including feeding a non-food substance to a canine officer, which she says he started. Slater notes that that's not what the dog said before leaving her to get her own little montage of magically scrubbing the barracks with her toothbrush, which I thought was kind of shit. She's eventually done, only to have cunty cadet Stacy stomp through the barracks in her muddy boots, giving her a sarcastic, so sorry. But don't worry, Sabrina gets her one-up on Stacy by zapping toilet paper onto her ass.
Devious.
And we see it flapping in the wind as she goes to, I assume, take a bath or something. Because a bath, not a shower, because they have tubs in the witch camp. And the funny thing is, when you rewatch it, like, Stacy would obviously notice. It's like 30 feet long, flapping in the wind behind her. There's no way she doesn't notice, but she just walks out. Slater then returns.
Who pivots around to take a look at that ass?
It's fucking Slater.
Oh, yeah. He's watching that flapping.
He gives us a yes. That's a pretty bad Marv Albert. I'm not a sportsman. I don't know what sports is.
It's all right. Just plug in the clip. You're okay.
Yes!
Slater then returns, as we said, to tell Sabrina that her 2 days are up, leading to a trademark woohoo from a teen witch. He calls that premature, much like himself, noting that if she fails her witch's license exam one more time, he'll be taking care of her for a year. Creepy.
Probably explains Stacy's predicament.
Possibly. And he goes on to add that if she's anything like her Aunt Hilda, she will fail. She then says she won't be back. As we hear the aunties announce that they're here to take Sabrina home. And we'll get to what happens after that in a second. But let's go back to, Brian, the scene with the aunties and Eric Estrada. I still honestly don't understand why he couldn't even say a line. It's obviously they didn't want to pay him, but it's it gets really awkward when there are 5 of these Estrada scenes and he's just left to go, But he's doing his best Tim Allen there. I also thought it was hilarious that if you watch Estrada in these scenes, he's doing the classic, I'm in a car and I'm supposed to be driving, but I'm in front of a green screen in a non-moving car. So what I'll do is I'll turn the wheel every quarter second to make it look like I'm driving because I'm a 5-year-old playing with one of these.
There's no power steering, pal.
Yes, but how windy is this fucking straight road that he's on? Huh?
It's California.
I guess. Or, I don't know. It's just he's doing a lot of this. He's doing a lot of this.
He's jerking off.
He's a regular Marv Albert, he is. God, that joke has been running to the ground.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's still a long podcast left.
It looks real shit. What did you think of a dance scene, Brian? Where you see Slater in the ball and everything else?
It was clever.
Did it look a little crowded to you? Because it looked crowded to me. It was 50 kids dancing in a set that was designed to hold 10 kids.
No, I mean I don't know how big the school is, but I would imagine that cafeteria looked small to begin with. So, cheap sets.
I have a couple.
They don't have steady cams.
They don't, man.
Oh my god, I wanted to throw
I'm pretty
up.
sure you won't see too much more of it after this episode.
It was terrible.
A couple of things in that whole dance scene. One, as I said, way too many kids.
I liked it with that many kids. It was more realistic and believable than when you'd watch Saved by the Bell and there's Zach and Kelly going to dance
with 5 kids.
It's 5 people,
yeah.
Or everyone would stop to watch them dance. Get the fuck out of here! Nobody's gonna stand and watch these people dance. They're not celebrities.
I have been watching Beverly Hills 90210 in my spare time.
Oh god!
Because I never watched it when I was 7 or whatever. It's not great.
No, it's terrible. It was terrible back when I watched it.
Also, Shannon Doherty's a massive bitch.
Total bitch.
Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about.
You're talking about Married to Children? That's a show you need to watch.
We did touch on that. I never my favorite.
Oh, pig.
The other thing in the dance scene, the whole boot. When Sabrina trips, does her ankle shatter in 7 places to allow her foot to slide out of this combat boot?
Or maybe her foot was coming out of her shoe while it was transitioning to a boot.
That is possible. I will grant you that.
Physics, man. Maybe she had a heel on and it was about to fall off because she caught it awkwardly and her ankle almost twisted, but
so it popped off as a heel and then turned into a boot
baby
when it
face.
landed.
Boot.
That's right.
And Harvey goes, "You dropped your boot?"
He's very Canadian. He's actually not. Richard is not Canadian at all.
No, it's quite awkward.
He's quite
awkward.
Sabrina, lost your boot?
Wait, they're in Boston, aren't they?
They are very in Boston.
Wait, what the fuck? They're not in California.
No.
There's wine.
Maybe Eric Estrada is in California.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that makes sense.
No, in all honesty, it's just bad acting by Eric Estrada.
Well, I mean, the poor guy couldn't say a word. So
that's true. You're not going to get my good...
He's not Charlie Chaplin.
You're not going to get my good green screen acting for $40.
He's not Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton.
He is no Buster Keaton.
Damn right.
Fuck
that guy.
I thought the practical effect of Sabrina scrubbing the barracks with the toothbrush where she's just waving her finger looked kind of shit. Because really, it's obvious that it's just on a string or whatever.
Oh God, listen to you.
Listen, I love generally the practical effects on the show. I think they look pretty good considering how
even the visual effects. I mean,
this looked bad because it's just so not tied to her finger wagging at all. It's she's wagging this way, the thing's going that way. It doesn't move at the same time.
No, that's fine. It's showing how she's getting tired. She doesn't want to do it anymore.
I disagree. I thought it looked real bad.
All right, come on.
No, I give you no thing.
Fuck it. I hate the show anyway.
Oh, you piece of shit. You'll never be back. See you next week. Uh,
Oh, I'm busy. Sorry.
you said that last time and you're back now.
Well, because I had already watched the episode.
That is true. And also, you love me. I'm your third favorite Araujo. Take that, Mom.
Third. I don't know. It's a stretch.
Take that.
This podcast is over.
There's really only like 4 of us. Anyway,
This podcast is over.
I think we should get back to the show.
Sure. Cut this all out.
The sounds of Hilda's voice calling for Sabrina give Slater flashbacks.
That was good.
You like that?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
And
It was-
he's got some real comedic. He's got some real good comedy acting there.
Yeah.
He does the Macaulay Culkin.
Yep. Home Alone. Ah! He runs out
He does.
trying to find.
My favorite thing is when he runs out. He's taller with his hat than the door, so he's got to like scrunch down a little to run out. It's very good when you watch it back.
Sabrina, we're here to take you home.
Hilda Spellman. Oh, no, the flashbacks.
Isn't that sweet? He remembers me.
So he does all that. Hilda then says that it's kind of sweet that he remembered her. We then cut back to the Spellman house where Sabrina...
Well, little do they know, he's actually running to go meet Stacy in the latrine.
He is. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't like the turn that this... I mean, I totally took it there, and it was all my reading of this episode, but I don't like this anymore. The Marv Albert thing really soured me on this whole thing.
Yes, you fucked this whole thing up.
Much like Marv Albert.
Yeah.
So anyway, back at home, Sabrina's soaking her finger, and she thanks the aunties for the soak.
Thanks for the borax and fucking sulfuric acid.
That's right. She says she's better go off and study her magic handbook right after she catches up with Harvey and Valerie. Remember Valerie, folks? Haven't seen her much of this episode. The aunties stop her, however, as they want to have a conversation with her about her priorities. They note that she can't study for the witch's license exam and keep up all the things that she's been doing. So they tell her they should sit down and make a list of all her activities and figure out where they can cut. They write it all down, and including some Harvey stuff. And while she initially wants to cut out school, Sabrina agrees to stop being the editor of the newspaper while staying on the paper. And eventually, her aunties make her realize that she has to cut down on the Harvey stuff as there's just way too much of it.
Too much kink.
She then notes that she can't do that because she's already been ignoring Harvey, and eventually comes to the realization that she's been a pretty lousy girlfriend, and Harvey deserves better.
I can't cut back on Harvey.
There's more at stake than you realize. I can't say more or Zelda will hurt me.
How can I cut back on Harvey now? I mean, I fell asleep on the phone. I forgot about his cookies. I made him the worst poster, and I left him at the school dance. I'm a lousy girlfriend. He deserves better.
She then goes to her room, and there she contemplates how to separate herself from Harvey with Salem, while finding some of Salem's definitely not new toys that he definitely didn't order.
Carbon date the teeth marks if you don't believe me.
She notes that she can't even go to the game with Harvey and wonders how he'll react when she tells him. Soon, seeing Harvey rip off his sweater in anger in the apparently magic mirror now. Apparently this is just something that the magic mirror does. It will show you the future. I'm sure that'll come up again a lot in the future. It never does.
Show the future or show...
Like hypothetical futures.
Hypotheticals.
Never happens again to my knowledge.
So maybe it's just Sabrina tripping on some bad acid.
All that finger soaking.
Yeah.
Went right to her head.
Too much borax and hydrochloric acid.
She's afraid to hurt Harvey, naturally. So Salem suggests making a no pain spell.
Yeah, roofie him.
Basically. Also, he suggests studying the magic handbook when she doesn't realize what the fucking no pain spell is. She looks it up in her handbook past a No Nanette reference, which we will talk about, and worries about all the ingredients. But Salem just leads her downstairs to the laptop, where with some coaxing, she pushes the power button.
Okay, push the button.
No, you push it.
Push it.
Cool.
She then decides that since Harvey isn't a geriatric, she won't make him fruitcake, and instead will make him no pain butterscotch pudding.
Which I would need that.
We'll talk about that also. Don't worry. The treat of youngsters I have written down here. She collects all of the ingredients except glycerin, since she can't find it. But Salem tells her about it's the blue goo. She adds it to the mix. A puff and explosion happens. And we get another and hopefully final Eric Estrada appearance where Sabrina basically says, I have no time for this, and goes back home.
Yeah.
The smartest way any of these have been handled. Brian.
Al.
Apparently, the mirror is magic. Fucking irritates me. At one point, there was an episode where she can walk through the mirror. That's actually the Flan episode, which is actually pretty shitty until the Flan part. But that irritated me. Butterscotch pudding, however. Sabrina thinks that fruitcake is an old person thing. So she decides to make him butterscotch fucking pudding.
At least it was in prunes.
A dessert that's synonymous with nursing home holiday celebrations. Like, you couldn't think of like cake or like a,
no.
I dropped a beer cap, by the way, folks. I was playing with it this whole podcast. I have a real fixation with my hands. Much like Marv Albert. That's the last one of the show. Don't worry.
Yes!
Oh, hopefully this has gotten so annoying that it's funny again.
Hopefully you didn't tune out.
Like, you couldn't make a no-pain Choco Taco or a no-pain...
Choco Taco.
You never had a Choco Taco before?
But still, did they have those back then?
Oh, yeah. I vividly remember once going to a Taco Bell in the 90s and getting a Choco Taco.
Or
also,
a McDonald's apple pie.
Fair enough.
All right, let's think of some other weird shit from the 90s.
A no-pain Snickers Cruncher.
Okay.
I think they brought those back. Sorry. Best of all, no pain green Heinz ketchup.
Gross. That shit was disgusting.
I didn't realize as a kid it was gross because we bought it a bunch, but it was green, blue, and purple.
Yeah.
Weird time.
That explains a lot, though. You're all fucked up now.
My point being, pick a more teen-friendly dessert. My face is horribly deformed from that ketchup.
That's why we do podcasts.
That's right. That's why it's all audio. We're ugly as fuck. Anyway.
Got a face for radio.
Brian, what did you think of these two scenes?
I love the Stella scene.
My favorite part of that scene is, now traditionally, of course, the shirt is ripped. You see the bare chest. Can't show Harvey's bare chest.
No.
So he's ripping the sweater and there's a white shirt underneath.
Panties would drop. So, this is TGIF.
You got to keep it PG here.
Yeah, keep it PG. So I bringing it back to last week when Harvey murdered his mother for the cookies, and that's where he brought Sabrina the earrings, right?
Yes, that's right. That's where he got them from.
It reminded me because today is, so I'm going to read some lyrics.
Are you going to, what have you, Brian brought a thing, folks. Look at this.
So his mother, before he murdered her to take her earrings, said, take your time. Mm-hmm. Don't live too fast. Right. Troubles will come, and they will pass. You'll find a woman, and you'll find love. And don't forget, son, there's someone up above. And
I have no idea what this is.
A simple kind of man.
Is this from Streetcar Named Desire?
No.
What is this from?
Simple Man.
I don't know what that
Leonard
is.
Skinner.
All right.
You got to play a song now.
You know what? We'll come in with it.
Perfect.
It'll make absolutely no sense until the 51-minute mark of this podcast.
I love it. I love it. Because Harvey is a simple kind of man.
He is the most simple kind of man. He's quite the half-wit. And now a hairless half-wit that he got his...
No, listen. He's multifaceted, man. Come on.
Bullshit. He's handsome and he's doofy. That's it. That's a lot, though.
You're a boot. So yeah, that Stella moment was funny. I like that they obviously left the shirt on because
tasteful. You're a very conservative man.
It's a simple kind of conservative man. He murdered his mother.
This is the Newt Gingrich era. We got to be very tasteful.
He murdered his mother for earrings.
That's right.
But he's the kink. So
I want to see a nipple.
No,
an errand nipple. The thought.
No, that'll be in the future. I know it fucks shit up.
Sabrina the college years.
But then, Marv Albert could, do some butt stuff.
Man, we're never going to let this guy. This is his punishment. He may have gotten scot-free, but man, if he ever decides to listen to a Sabrina podcast, he's going to get one right in the chin. No, Nanette, Brian. Do you know the reference?
I did, but then I forgot.
Fair enough.
Because I had it on the tip of my tongue, and then I was looking up lyrics. I'm
sure most tweens in the 90s got the reference to the 1920s stage play. No, Nanette is famous because a lot of people believe that it was the funding of this that caused the sale of Babe Ruth to the Yankees, which in turn caused the Curse of the Bambino. In factuality, fun word, it was not actually No Nanette that was funded through the sale. It was actually an earlier play called My Lady Friends.
Oh.
Written by the same guy who wrote No Nanette.
Oh. Marv Albert's brother.
Yeah. Jarv Albert. Garv Albert.
Garv Albert.
Sorry, I read that wrong.
His grandfather. Great-grandfather.
The point of all this being, who in the fuck... I actually know this because there's a Frasier episode that references it. But who in the fuck is writing this joke for like a 5-year-old?
It's not for 90s? A 5-year-old. It's for
a 7-year-old.
Family. Remember?
That's right.
That's the butterscotch. It's grandma's watching because it's TGIF, pal.
That's right.
Okay? It's grandma, great-grandma.
She didn't appreciate that fruitcake joke, though.
No. Dad, mom, cousin Jen.
Uncle Zootroy.
Yeah, Zootroy from fucking The Country Doesn't Exist Anymore.
His native Estonia.
Estonia's still around.
I know.
Strike that.
Anyway,
let's look dumb.
Let's see how the butterscotch plays out, Brian. Next day in the cafeteria, Sabrina finishes explaining that she got super sick when Harvey dipped her, which is why she ran out. She and Harvey then both agree that it was probably the quesadillas that the driver's ed teacher brought.
Not quesadillas.
And especially since he was recently run over by a student, apparently.
Sophomore.
God, fucking kids can't drive.
Keep in mind. Because aren't they freshmen?
They, at this point, are sophomore. No, they, at this point, should be juniors. Because she starts when she's a sophomore. Yeah. I think when they go into season...
I think the admission is the fact that Harvey probably was the one that ran him over.
His eyes are very shifty.
Yeah,
he's the one that did it. Anyway, the point is,
Strikes
that's why she got sick and ran out. He says that they'll make up for lost time in the game.
Oaf. Yeah, he's going to bang her underneath the bleachers.
Oh, yeah. And then bury her there.
No.
No, he's got taste, so put her behind the shed.
Yeah, I'll put her behind the shed in the wood chipper.
Shame. I was going to make another Marv Albert thing. It's like, there's one too many. But once the tally goes past 7, I think we've...
7? We're like 17.
Anyway, they'll make up for lost time of the game, Harvey thinks, but Sabrina starts pushing the butterscotch pudding on him real hard.
Yeah.
And despite his saying that the coach says that he shouldn't be eating any sweets as he'll be putting on the field if he eats pudding, she basically like forces it down his gullet. And when I say that, it's quite true, because instead of eating pudding like a human being eats pudding, he like guzzles this pudding.
Yeah, it's weird. It isn't even a spoon, nothing.
It is not fun to watch, but I'm sure it'll be fun to watch like a boomerang that I'll put on Instagram or something of him just guzzling it down.
I brought you some butterscotch pudding.
Sabrina, that's so sweet. I'm gonna save it.
No, eat it.
Looks great, but I can't. Coach says you eat pudding at lunch, you're a pudding on the field. I think that's bad.
Have you seen the gut on that guy? What does he know?
I guess one little bite won't hurt. Good pudding, Fizz.
So she explains to him that she can't go to the game with him, as she thinks they should see less of each other. And just as he starts to get furious, like stabbing mad, the spell kicks in and he just blankly says, okay. She then tells him that he should probably find somebody else to go to the game with. And he just says, okay, turns around, asks Jennifer, a saucy curly-haired redhead. Very saucy.
Fiery.
She says, sure, and then turns back around, because this is how dating works. He asks, she agrees, and they have no conversation ever again.
Oh, no, they'll have a conversation later.
About where her corpse should be buried. God.
Kinkle.
This is not a good season 2 for Harvey. You better grow that hair back real fast.
It does. It looks like he chopped it off. Like he went crazy.
He then leaves, and Sabrina just says that she meant that he should ask, like, his sister or his dead mom. Or,
Yeah, he's not from Alabama.
Or
Come
his
on.
Zootroy or whoever.
I'm gonna strike that.
Take that, South! Brian, the Yankee here, being
Yankee.
real offensive. You were sold to the Yankees, weren't you?
Yeah. No. Full circle. Good save there. Good save.
Anyway, Sabrina's real sad as Valerie shows up finally and sits down, and she says that she just needs some pudding, but Valerie tells her that when she's feeling down, she eats a corn dog.
Yeah, I wondered if that was a innuendo.
Euphemism?
Yeah, euphemism.
Yeah,
Euphemism for penis.
Yep. It was. Valerie's a big cock gobbler. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, this one way out the rails.
Listen, in my notes I've written use the phrase cock gobbler at least once. Okay. So it was either this or it was Stacy. We went a little hard on Stacy, much like Sergeant Slater does. So it's Valerie's got to take one for the team, much like she does when she's gobbling guys. I really apologize. Like,
we imagine, we don't know. I mean,
listen, I've read a lot of Sabrina fanfics, and they all say the same thing.
Right? It's there. It's out there.
Anyway,
weirdo.
Later at the school paper, Miss Quick says that she's sorry to lose Sabrina as editor, but another editorial really impressed the school board.
And it was actually spelled correctly.
It was grammatically correct.
Yeah.
And though Libby and the bitch bunch are sure it's her, they're stunned to find out that it's actually Valerie. Sabrina congratulates her, and Valerie notes that it's wonderful before noting that
she also ate the quesadillas.
She did. She got a little bit sick there, and she runs out. I also like to think that the driver's ed teacher's name was like Chang or something where it's really like unexpected that they would be bringing quesadillas.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Later.
Zutro.
Yes. Zutro. Sabrina is later seen studying with Salem, and he's quizzing her. Asks what a gibbous moon means, asking about the importance of it. But she just knows that she can't get her mind on studying because she should be with Harvey.
Gibbous moon, significance thereof.
Right now I'm missing the football game.
Oh, please, the boy doesn't even play. Come on, gibbous moon.
When flying during a gibbous moon, there can be reduced visibility due to glare.
He tells her that, listen, the guy's a bench warmer, don't fucking worry. And he asks the gibbous moon question again, and she gets it right, noting that there'll be reduced visibility when flying during a gibbous moon. Quizmaster, Brian's favorite, then pops up for the second chance exam, adding that his lack of witty remarks is a result of his belt shopping excursion. And I think he bought a real nice one.
Sabrina, it's time for your second chance quiz.
That's it? No witty remarks, no floor show?
Well, I didn't have much time to prepare. Had to buy a belt.
She then wants to just get it over with, as studying has taken all the fun out of using her magic. But an indignant quizmaster says that he's taking her to the funnest place in the realm. Let's go. Brian.
To the closet.
Come on. Not everyone's a creep.
What? That's how you get to the other realm.
That's fair. Okay. I thought we were doing a Marv Albert thing.
Who?
Man, we have gotten our...
What year is this?
God, in my notes I had find thing to make 37 jokes about, and god damn it if the disgusting actions of a sportscaster were not just the perfect fit there. Okay. The pudding thing was weird.
Oh, totally.
Don't
weird,
ever eat
man.
pudding like that, folks. Have some table manners. Quizmaster, what did you think of the way he looked here, Brian?
Oh, I thought it was the best outfit he's worn this whole time.
This I have written down as the best he has ever looked or will ever look.
I mean, it's obviously quintessential 90s, huge zoot suit jacket.
It's great. It's
just white.
It's a white outfit. The jacket is somewhat, it's a little bit longer, so it's like coat-like. It's double-breasted.
Zoot suit.
It's beautiful. I like the very light gray mock.
Gray,
brown.
Yeah.
Light brown.
Tan almost.
Mock turtleneck, but he has on very
Call it
chic.
sandy.
I liked his belt, matched perfectly. stunning. The man looked stunning. I will not give him any criticism here. I did not, however, like the fact that Sabrina at one point asks the black man for a floor show. Pick your words, Sabrina. Pick your words.
What?
At one point, she's like, no floor show? Like, listen, read your history book. Study that, as well as your magic exam book.
You'd imagine she knows because she's thinking about no, Nanette.
Probably some racism in that.
Yeah,
1920s.
Well, sure
there's probably like a black role, and the role is like sweet lady, maid, or like a lumber chopper.
Sure.
Probably. Listen, what I'm saying is people who were racist in the 20s.
Oh, they're still racist now.
What?
Yes.
This is news to me. Racism is... Listen, I'm doing a bit. I know racism is real. I had to bail out of that one because I'm like, oh, I don't like the way this is going.
Cutting this whole thing.
I know like who I'm going to get positive reviews from this. But yes. Did you like the whole... I've come to love the Sabrina Salem interplays. I think they're a great team. Everything they do is fun to listen to.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's Salem is...
He is a great character. I've always wondered how they do this because, like, it's obviously done. Salem is obviously a voiceover. So, do they just have somebody reading the lines off?
Yes, I would imagine they probably have someone reading the lines off, so it's a natural response.
Mm-hmm.
Not mic'd or whatever, and then they could just edit out the sound. There's no way she's that good.
Right.
Not to belittle Melissa Joan Hart's acting chops.
Mm-hmm.
The timing, it's very natural. It's just impossible not to have somebody reading back.
It would have to be, yeah.
Oh, he's probably hiding under the bed.
Poor Nick Mackay.
Something practical that way or whatever.
That's the greatest practical effect of all.
Yeah, he's
him under a bed.
Under the bed.
Oh, man. All right, Brian. Quizmaster and Sabrina, they soon arrive in the X-Men Danger Room.
Yeah, or the holodeck for the Star Trek Next Generation fans. No, not Next Generation. Voyager fans.
Sure. Before my time. Basically, they arrive in an empty white room where he administers her test, telling her to show him the real Sabrina. She says this wasn't in the handbook, but... yeah.
And he smiles, and it says...
Marv Albert, jokes aside. She
Show
says it
me
wasn't
the
in
real Sabrina.
But, Professor, this wasn't in the handbook. And this episode is fucked.
It's the writing, pal.
She says she'll try something. Something is basically awful 90s CGI color squiggles flying around the screen.
Oh, it's just terrible.
And landing all over, basically giving us like a really shit
epileptic seizure.
90s screensaver. I thought.
Not even. I think the 90s, like Windows 95 had better screensavers.
They were pretty advanced.
Better than this. They were better off doing a Windows 95 screensaver, projecting it on the TV.
Fair enough.
On a green screen.
Honestly, this looks pretty terrible. This is the kind of thing. This is why I love practical effects on the show so much more than CGI, because the CGI is terrible. And this season, actually, like, this is where they really start to dip their foot into CGI, and it's like...
Well, it's 97, but still very early.
It's ABC, it's TV, it's not going to be good.
It was only 12 million viewers at the time.
That's true.
Like 50-something rank.
That is true. So yeah, the walls are all covered, and Sabrina says that this is great because this is the first fun she's had with magic in a long time.
One episode. Two
episodes. That's true. Quizmaster goes on a prolonged speech about how magic connects to her life without telling her if she passed or not. But eventually, he hands her a passing grade, adding that she passed with flying colors, and immediately regrets the joke, as he should.
I passed!
With flying colors. Don't tell anyone I said that.
An ecstatic Sabrina leaves, but not before zapping Quizmaster into a very lifesavers suit, which I didn't like very much.
I hated. Not lifesavers. Zebra. Remember that gum?
No, not much.
Zebra stripe.
I think I remember the name, but
because it was like crazy gum. It was just but weird patterns like zebra stripes.
Oh,
that's what it looked like.
Fair enough. You know what? I thought it was well made. I just didn't really like the look of it. You know.
I don't know. It's terrible, but whatever. Still better than what Hilda wore.
What's on? Back at home, the aunties take away all of Salem's ill-gotten toys, but Zelda says that he can keep the money he took as long as he invests it. As Sabrina runs in announcing that she passed. An offer of a high five from Salem ends adorably.
Fruit stripe gum.
There it is.
Here. Huh?
Yep.
That's what
fair
it
enough.
looks like.
That's what it
Just
looks like.
all
All of the pieces like melted together.
Melted together, yeah.
He
Let's
realizes
find out
that he
what they
can't
mean.
give her a high five, and he just adorably looks at his paw. And some great animatronic work there from whoever was doing it.
Yep.
I did it! I passed!
Congratulations!
I'm so proud of you.
Give me 5. I can't.
Sabrina then opens the envelope she received and is confused when it's only a learner's permit. But Zelda explains that it's right, as this means that she's going to be tested all year and only gets her license when she turns 18. Which really seems like they fucked her over because they kept saying wish's license and not wish's permit.
That is true, and it's quite a fuck you.
It really is.
It's like, oh, welcome to adulthood. We fucking
Welcome
changed
to the
rules.
next season. This is what we're doing, bitch.
We changed the rules.
Sabrina is sad. This means that she has to cut back on Harvey for the whole year.
Right.
But Hilda worsens it by telling her that if she doesn't get her witch's license when she's 18, she'll lose all her magical powers forever.
Which, listening to the two of them go back and forth, maybe is not the end of the world.
Look, Sabrina doesn't really use her magic to the fullest. I think it's probably a pretty big loss.
Why?
Because how else is she going to get into a ball gown really fast, Brian? Do you know how long it takes to get into a ball gown?
I don't know.
At least 10 minutes. That was like 3 seconds.
Yeah, but then you get...
Her hair looked great.
That's true.
You know how long it takes to make hair look that great? At least 10 minutes. Look at mine. Shit. I slept on this. Anyway. After this realization, Sabrina notes that this is going to leave no time for television. As the credits roll, however, Harvey rings the doorbell, bringing her lost boot, which she pretends to know nothing about. Quizmaster then pops out of the side of the front door there, freezing time to tell Sabrina...
Hey, want some candy?
Terrible. Want some fruit striped gum?
Hey, you picked up on it.
Telling Sabrina that this is a little gift from him and that Harvey won't remember anything and that she should just go with it.
Yep.
So the Marv Albert jokes then into... No, I'm kidding.
Stop
just
it.
go with it.
Stop it. He's already dead.
Anyway, Harvey does the Cinderella thing, slips the boot onto her foot. They start dancing and are soon transported to the gym where they slow dance the same really shitty 90s R&B alone as we wrap up the episode and the two-parter of Sabrina getting her getting her witch's permit, not her witch's license. A big lie. Brian, these
That's
last couple of scenes.
Total bullshit, because they did tell her from the beginning that it was her license.
They really rip her off.
And then she got fucking catfished.
Just like Marv. No. Just like Marv. A couple of things I want to know
here's
here.
your license.
This is where I picked up on the bad outfits of the episode, because here Sabrina is wearing like a sheer cream short sleeve shirt with like brown, like a leaf and vine kind of design on it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, it's pretty bad. And then brown pants, and for some reason like silvery, like Puma-esque sneakers.
Yeah, I hated that.
That looked really weird on her. It's not like teens don't wear sneakers. It's like, I don't think we've seen Sabrina in sneakers aside from like when she's in gym at all.
It's, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like someone going to work, but they wear their sneakers instead of their
You don't
dress
want to
shoes.
wear your heels the whole time.
Yeah, and I was like, it just looked weird.
It did.
Plus the brown, I mean, it's typical. It's
brown on brown.
Brown on brown, typical 90s, so.
Her outfit looked way too much like actual shit. Her outfit is also only rescued from that by the hairless halfwit himself, Harvey, with his fucking shirt that he's wearing here.
It's fine.
No. It's the ugliest hunter green, brown, and like dark gray in like vertical stripes, but it's this 90s thing where they're not actual stripes. They're like kind of like they're like bleeding into one another almost, like it's like painted or whatever.
Right.
It looks so much like shit. If her outfit is shit, his outfit was created on underwear from her shit. It's the residue of her shit. It's worse than her shit.
All right. I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't like it at all.
I thought Hilda's outfit was the worst.
Was it? Are you talking about this like green dress?
Kiwi dress?
It was like the horizontal stripe deal?
Yeah, the key lime.
Very nice. Very not nice, in
Yeah,
Brian's
no.
opinion. Yes, they said
was
Quizmaster.
Well, the fruit stripe gum was not. Yeah.
Yes, but here, when he pops out, he's wearing a Tommy Hilfiger sweatshirt. I don't know if you noticed this because he's got the badge on the arm.
Oh, no, I missed that part. But yeah, it looked like a typical late 90s large billowing polo type shirt.
Yeah, it's very much, again, what white people think black people wear. Also, it's true. It's what most of his outfits seem to be.
Whatever, dude.
Also, when I was Googling the Tommy Hilfiger logo just to make sure that's what it was, I got an ad for an Urban Outfitters sweatshirt that looks not too dissimilar from this sweatshirt, and it's like a Tommy Hilfiger jeans 90s sweatshirt. It's Urban Outfitters, so it's obviously expensive. It's $129.
Yeah.
It's fucking hideous. I'll show it to you after. It's as ugly as you it looks like more early 90s than like this mid 90s, but it's not attractive at all. It's got all your favorite colors.
Well, it's color
box.
blocked. Yeah. It's
Not good.
It's him, man.
Also, one last thing. When Sabrina answers the door, she answers the door barefoot for some reason. Because when Harvey goes to put the boot on, she got both shoes off.
So you don't walk around your house barefoot?
No, I don't.
I
think
do.
it's gross.
I love
Always
it.
put socks on.
No, it's free. It's freedom.
Brian, that's the episode. However, gonna do the awards here.
Oh, this is a solid Family Matters.
Was it? You realize the Family Matters is a 4 out of 5.
That's bullshit. It wasn't.
TGIF scale, Brian, is how we rate our episodes of Sabrina Teenage Witch on this show.
What was the second one again?
I'll go
Well,
through it
yeah,
for you right now.
why not? Let's give the listening public what they want.
A 1 out of 5. You don't want to hear me say this over and over again. A 1 out of 5 on the TGIF scale is a you wish.
I still remember that show.
2 out of 5. We'll watch an episode because there's an episode that crosses over with you wish. 2 out of 5 is a teen angel. A 3 out of 5, a hanging with Mr. Cooper. 4 out of 5, a Family Matters. 5 out of 5, Boy Meets World. Brian, where does this land on that scale?
Actually, I think the first part of this was somewhere between a Teen Angel and Hanging with Mr. Cooper. This one was actually slightly more enjoyable because they're
Sergeant Slater
stuff and the Salem stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Early part 1 was all Salem. I think that was the best part. And Eric Estrada, the poor guy. So this one I'm going to say somewhere between Hanging Mr. Cooper and Family Matters.
Fair enough. I think I'm right
Like
where I'm with you on this
3 1/4.
3 and a half.
3 and a
3 and a
half.
half.
Yeah.
3 3/4, somewhere there.
It's called 3 1/2.
3 1/2.
Let's not get crazy here.
All right.
I don't want to come back.
You and your conservative self don't want to see Harvey.
I don't want to come back.
Well, you're coming back. In a long, long time. Yes, I agree with you here for all the reasons you said. I mean, the thing is, there's nothing particularly memorable or incredible.
Far from. It's just, but it's fun TV and zany and kooky and
again, Richard Mull does do a great job as the drill sergeant.
Yeah, it was fun. And for what it is, this isn't Stranger Things. So
no, this is good. Back in the Winning Closet Award, Brian, our episodic award for each installment's biggest fashion flop.
Definitely the key lime pie dress that
Hilda's
wearing.
Fair enough. I can see why people wouldn't like it. I thought it was cut well for her.
Only because it fit fine. It was just
you like the
holy
pattern?
Shit. I would give Quizmaster a very close second for that lime green jumpsuit, but I think I gave him the award last time.
You did give it last time. I think last time it was to the one with the polka dot pants, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah. For me, it's Harvey's putrid shirt.
I figured that.
I don't.
Doesn't look good on him.
No, it's not a good shirt. It's an ugly shirt. It's an ugly haircut. I want his hair long again. Do it. I know it's 20 years old, Brian.
He's a simple man.
Fair enough. But that is the episode of Sabrina's Witch Trials. Brian, thank you so much for coming by once again to talk Sabrina with me.
Anytime.
Always fun to have you. tell people where they can check out your very impressive photography. And as we talked about last episode, people are taking notice, getting more followers, getting appearing in various places.
I'm going to be in a book.
There you go. You can finally talk about it now.
It's called New York on Instagram. I don't get any money from the proceeds of the book because I was asked to provide it, and there will be a slight payment at the end. So there's no money based on
like the Eric
sales.
Estrada treatment.
I don't have a speaking role. The editor of the book, who's a nice guy, Dan, who did a lot of legwork. Probably about 45 different photographers, 300 pictures total. Believe he's trying to tell a narrative somehow, so it's very difficult. My only concern, or not concern, but just like reluctance in announcing it, is that the pictures that are in the book are terrible now as far as my consideration or capability or whatever.
Right. They're your earlier works.
They just lack vision. They lack everything. It's just horrible.
There you go.
All right.
But
believe it or not, it's available on Amazon. And if they still have stores that sell books physically, it'll be in bookstores.
I was talking to somebody and they said they went to a Barnes & Noble the other day, and I mocked them for 5 minutes.
I was in a Barnes & Noble about 3 weeks ago, but it was to use the bathroom.
There you go. Get a Starbucks coffee.
Not even. No. I just went to go pee.
But where can people check out your newer work, Brian?
On Instagram, B911B photo, or on my website, bhcphotography.com.
Check it out there. A lot of interesting photos with a lot of vision from around in and around New York City. And,
just getting bored of this stuff in New York City.
I don't blame you. It's a lot of bridges and a lot of tall buildings.
It's mostly the same buildings, though. Empire State Building, Freedom Tower, Flatiron, Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge.
But it gets the Instagram likes, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Like, most of the stuff that I posted and it likes, and all of a sudden you post a picture of Oculus, and it's like, whoop. It's like 30,000 times more than I got in the other one.
7.
And it's just a picture.
Yeah.
So,
but
whatever.
Go check it out there.
Yep.
And while you're at Instagram, or on Instagram, because it's not a physical place.
Isn't?
No, go figure. Not yet. Until Facebook makes that Instagram store I've been bugging them about, so I can use their bathroom. You can go on Instagram.
See? Everyone says Amazon's great. When you got to take a shit, what are you going to do?
Shit on your phone, like I do. On Instagram, you can, of course, also follow Sabrina's Witch Trials, this very podcast. Got a lot of memes going on there. Got a lot of fun vids.
A little memes.
A lot of hilarious commentaries from me and my hilarious self. At Sabrina's Witch Trials on Instagram. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Sabrina's Witch Trials. And on Twitter, at Sabrina Podcast. You can also subscribe to, comment on, favorite, and listen to this show where you are listening to it, your favorite podcatcher of choice, or TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, the Google Play podcast section, iTunes, of course, I name them. And if you could take a minute out of your day and give us a 5-star review on iTunes, or you know what, any review is a good review.
Yeah, 1. That's fair.
Honestly, it doesn't really bother me. I would appreciate a 5-star review, and if you're giving me a 1, you're a real fucking cunt. But whatever.
You wish.
Yeah, you know what? I would love it if somebody reviewed us according to my TGIF scale, and even if it's not a 5, I don't fucking care, because I know you do like it if you're using the TGIF scale. So I got you anyway. Next episode, Brian, will be episode 27 overall.
Is that a 2-parter as well?
No, it's we're going back to a single episode, and it's actually a pretty fun one if you're a fan of Mr. Kraft. Dummy for Love.
Kraft cheese.
Dummy for Love, where Sabrina does maybe the worst thing she's ever done.
Shocking.
And Hilda wears maybe the ugliest outfit she'll ever wear.
Not true.
Trust me, I'll show it to you after. It's pretty atrocious.
All right.
But until next time, I want to say thank you one last time to Brian for being here.
You're welcome.
And I want to say thank you to you for listening, and we will see you in the other realm.
So how'd it go with Harvey?
He's fine. I could use a pudding.
When I feel bad, I have corn dogs.